Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you all for being here. My name is Rusty Johnson, and my pronouns are he and him. On behalf of this congregation, welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Huntsville. We acknowledge that we are on the traditional territory of Native peoples. Whether you have joined us online or you are here in our sanctuary, we are so glad to have you with us in this sacred time we choose to be together. We are an open community of learning, caring, and justice making. You are welcome here, every part of you, just the way you are. And of course, I haven't seen a lot of you for a couple of weeks. I've been out of town taking care of kids' stuff with camps and all, but it's good to be back and coming off of the Independence Day celebrations with Juneteenth and the 4th of July. And I was just thinking we need to come up with a name for that period, right, between Juneteenth and the 4th, like Independence period or Independence Interregnum, something like that. So let's work on that as a congregation. So I'll know what to say, or someone will know what to say the next time we get up here. Now, our congregation is served by our wonderful minister here, the Reverend Jamie Dingus. She is available by contacting the Office for Pastoral Care and to answer questions about Unitarian Universalism. Now, if you're a newcomer, welcome, of course. Please sign our guest book in the foyer. Which is back there. That's been an ongoing joke. I'm not going to belabor that anymore. So that you may receive our weekly newsletter when you sign up in the foyer, of course. Now, please also take a moment to silence your electronic devices. Now, if you have a joy, sorrow, or important milestone that you would like shared during our circle of candles and included in the pastoral prayer, please write it on the white cards in the pew in front of you and show it and place it in the offering basket. Now, for community news, check our email newsletter, website, and the paper insert in your order of service. This week, we have this additional announcement. This and every first Sunday of the month, we share our offering plate with a nonprofit organization that lives our UU values out in the community. This quarter, our offering is shared with Habitat for Humanity of the River Valley. Almost stumbled on that, of course, with the four. Tamara is on the board of Habitat for Humanity, so it's great to be here with Jeremy, who will be introduced later on. So I almost stumbled, and I would have heard from that, I'm sure, later on from Tamara if I would have done so. So I'm glad I made it through, Jeremy. You can report back on me that I did a great job. We're both good. Oh, good, excellent. Wonderful, thank you. You will hear more about them and their great work a little later on in our service. Now, after our service, everyone is welcome to join us in the fellowship hall for potluck. Now, I would like to invite Cam to ring the singing bell to help us enter into the service more deeply. Finally, having gathered in a shared quest for truth, meaning, and purpose, let us light our chalice with these words adapted from Gregory Pelly and Catherine Callahan. And so we gather from the ebb and flow of our lives, thirsty for connection to ourselves, thirsty for connection to others, thirsty for connection to the larger life. As we light this chalice, may all who gather here be filled with joy and hope, filled with compassion and love. Let the warmth of the chalice lit during our time together connect us and carry us into the world. And now let us enter into this morning's service more deeply with wonderful music for centering from Ron, of course.
Good morning, friends. Welcome in. My name is Reverend Jamie Dingus. My pronouns are she and her, and I serve you as the minister here at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Huntsville. Welcome. Thank you for being here, whether you've gathered in our sanctuary or are joining us on YouTube. We are delighted to have you with us this morning. I'll invite you now to center into our service with these centering words from Kaikali Bordner. Come together again, gather in love, light the fire of hope, build the foundation. Commit together again, gather in truth, light the fire of freedom, build the entryways. Continue together again, gather in community, light the fire of the future, build the shelter. Create together once again. Gather in compassion, light the fire of equity, build the foundation. Come, let us worship together. And now it is my pleasure to introduce Jeremy Folks, the Executive Director of Habitat for Humanity for the River Valley, our Share the Plate partner. Jeremy is going to speak to us for a few moments about this fabulous organization, what they do, and how we can be a part of their great work. Thanks, Jeremy, for being with us.
Okay, can everybody hear me? Yes. Awesome. So I'm going to start off by asking for a favor. I'll give you a little history. I've been with Habitat for 20 years. Believe it or not, when I first started there, I had these long, flowing locks of brown hair. I was very fit. And then I had 2 kids, and they did this to me. But there's a little history that I want to share between our Habitat affiliate and your church. And I'm going to ask a favor here in a second. So I've been at Habitat for about 3 years. I was a family services manager, and I got the opportunity to hire an employee. And I hired this young lady who came and joined our program, and she was our family support specialist, and she served with me for about 10 years. She and I got really close together. She became one of my best friends, and still is to this day. That individual also it became a common joke with our spouses that we had our spouses when we went home, and then we had our work spouses. So y'all may remember a young lady by the name of Miss Amanda Schuber. I see some nodding heads. Well, Amanda worked for us at Habitat for Humanity for about 10 years, and now she has, of course, her congregation in Macon, Georgia, and I got to visit her at her church last summer, and oh my gosh, that is a beautiful church. If you get the opportunity, you need to go visit her. But would it be okay if I shot her a selfie picture of all of us? Because it would just warm her heart. In fact, I'm just going to do like a quick video if that's okay with everybody. Are we good with that? Yes? Awesome. I love that. All right. Here, we'll do it this way. Hey, Amanda, guess where I'm at? All right. We'll send that to her. She'll get a kick out of that. So again, I'm Jeremy Folks. I am the Executive Director of Habitat for Humanity of the River Valley. We're the local Habitat affiliate here serving Limestone, Madison, and Jackson County. We were founded in 1987, and since then we have served over 335 families in need of safe, affordable housing and home repairs. Our founding, though, our original founding goes back to Georgia, rural Georgia, southern Georgia, outside Plains, Georgia. Y'all may know Plains, Georgia, because it is the home of President. Amen. There we go. President Carter is not the founder of Habitat for Humanity, as many people believe, but it is actually Miller and Linda Fuller. They got the idea, though, from a small farm outside of Americus, Georgia. A minister in the mid-40s bought a piece of land outside of Americus, Georgia. His name was Clarence Jordan. It's spelled Jordan, but pronounced Jordan. And Clarence hired a lot of individuals from throughout the community, mostly African Americans. Now, we all know during the 1940s, 50s, 60s, and 70s, there were a lot of laws and rules and things that were done that were not right to prevent African Americans and other minorities from owning land or having a loan for a mortgage or to have a house. So one day, one of his hands came up to him and said, "Hey, my family is growing. We live in this shack. It's dirt floors. I really want a home, a place that my family can grow and become all that God intends." And Clarence was like, "I got that." And Clarence sold the man a lot on his land at the farm. He bought all the materials for the house, and he financed it himself. The man paid him back at 0% interest. We call it Bible financing. Comes right out of the book of Exodus 22:25. If God called down to the Israelites and said, "If one of my people among you is in need, do not be like a moneylender, charge them no interest." Basically saying you do not profit off of someone else's suffering. Today, it's the same model we use at Habitat for Humanity with homes that we build for families in need. So Clarence went through this process, and he did this for a number of his employees, and you can understand it did not make a lot of friends in rural South Georgia. His farm was bombed on several occasions, and he had visits from people in white robes, which we're not going to talk about. But they came and did, but it never stopped Clarence from doing what he did. And it never stopped the group there from doing what they were doing. And they have a theme. It was a nut farm, and none of the local buyers would buy their nuts to ship them off. So the theme they used when they found someone to help ship their nuts out was if you open up the can of their nuts, or on the top of the can of the nuts, it said, "Shipping all the nuts out of Georgia." So, all right, I'm going to bring it back to local. So again, we were founded in 1987. We serve people who are in need. When I go out and I talk to people in the community about our program, I basically say we're 4 ministries under one roof at Habitat. First of all, we're a social service ministry. We work with God's people. All people who come to our door. We do not look at race. We do not look at gender. We do not look at sexual orientation. We do not look at your politics. We do not look at your faith. We don't look at anything. You've come to our door, and therefore we are called to serve you. So we work with people who come to us who are in need of safe and affordable housing. Anybody know what the average rent of a home of an apartment in Huntsville is? $1,500. Okay. Anybody else? Whoa, that's a little too high. That's Boston's number, I think. $1,500 is for a house. It is the average rent for a house in the Huntsville metro area. $1,300 for an apartment. 97% of all apartments in the Huntsville metro area, and that includes Madison and Limestone County, have a rent of over $700 per month. So a lot of the people who come to us, a lot of the families that come to visit us who are in need are coming to us because they cannot afford to live where they are living at now. They get 30-day notices that their rents are going up by 30, 40, 50, 75, 100%. I can bring families to you to prove that. So they have a need for housing. They have a situation that is unsuitable or unattainable for them. When I first started at Habitat 20 years ago, it was substandard and poverty housing. That's what we dealt with. We dealt with homes that the landlords had painted the windows shut, put nails in them. We would find holes in the floors. We'd find holes in the ceilings. The landlord refused to come out and fix them. Today, we don't see a lot of that. Still see some of it, but what we see now is affordability. We take families who are in that situation, we run them through our application process, and if they qualify, they then start through the path of home ownership. They do 300 sweat equity hours first. Now, the first 100 hours they're going to do working with other nonprofits and social service agencies. So they go out to places like Manna House. They go to places like the Humane Society. They go and they work in soup kitchens, the Rose of Sharon, the Salvation Army. They work with other nonprofits because it's the community coming together to help build their home. So first, they go back out to the community, kind of pay it forward a little bit, and serve other families. The next 100 hours are usually done working on their home or the home of others. So they'll do another 100 hours in construction. And then their last 100 hours are usually done through education, financial literacy, and other classes that we provide. Also working, doing other sweat equity hour opportunities, maybe in our restore. We require every family that goes through our program to do 60 to 70 hours of homeownership education and financial literacy. We have a partnership with Cornerstone Initiative where every family goes through faith and finances. It's a 12-week course. They're paired up with a mentor that walks with them and goes through these budgeting classes. We have a partnership with Family Services Center where they do the HUD first-time homebuyers class, an 8.5-hour training that they have to go through. We have a partnership with the Huntsville Botanical Gardens. I like to start pointing at locations, so if I start doing that, I apologize. But the Huntsville Botanical Gardens, it's that way. We have a partnership where they do a 2-night course with them about planting gardens and flowers and what they want to see in their yards. We have a class, this one's sad, it's called a mortgage class, and it's 2 hours of listening to me talk about mortgages, their mortgage in specific, the deed, and all the closing documents. If you really need to go to sleep, we'll YouTube that, and we'll put it up so you can just go to sleep because it'll knock you out in about 5 minutes. If anybody's ever gone through the home buying process and had to read that mortgage document, you understand what I'm saying. So they go through a whole series of homeownership and education classes. Then, once they reach a certain guideline benchmark, we become a construction company or a construction ministry. We bring community together, volunteers from different churches, businesses, civic organizations that come together and work to help build a home for that family. About 65% of the work is done by our volunteers. We do sub out things like the foundation, the electrical, the plumbing, the roofing, and drywall. Every time I say this, I always have someone that raises their hand in objection, but nobody likes doing drywall. Anybody like doing drywall in here? Whew, okay. It's hard work. And it's amazing because it's all, everywhere I go, I have one person say, oh, I love doing drywall. And I was like, you may need to go see some mental health counseling because I'm not doing any of that. But we sub that out. But our volunteers, they do the framing of the homes. They put the flooring down, the cabinets. They do the painting, the trim work, the putting in the doors and the windows. They do all that work. This way we get to keep the cost of the house down because that goes into the third aspect of our program. And I know this is going to be hard for people to put these two words together, but we are a lending ministry. Again, two words you typically don't think about. I do not think, I like Redstone. They got the mortgage for my loan. They've always taken good care of me. But I don't always have the warm, fuzzy feelings when I think about that mortgage payment I have to make every month. But I am blessed that I do have that home. So that kind of outweighs or balances it out. But we are a lending ministry. And as I mentioned before, we do sell the home. And the homeowner pays it what it costs us to build it. And we finance that at 0% interest over 30 years. Now, what did I tell you the average rent for an apartment was in Huntsville? $1,300. We did 2 closings a couple of weeks ago, and the mortgage payment, including homeowners insurance, property taxes, and a termite bond on that, and we always go really high on our escrow estimates at the beginning because we want to make sure that we're covering everything we need to cover. But the mortgage payments on a 4-bedroom was, I think, $625, and the 3-bedroom, 2-bath was $570. I want to let that sink in for a second. Amen. But it's not just affordable housing. It's safe and affordable housing. But now we take a family that was paying $1,100 or $1,200 in rent. Let's just say $1,000. Maybe they're on the lower end, maybe paying $1,000 in rent. And now we put them into a place that they're paying $600 to own their own home. What else are we addressing it now? Food insecurity? We have families who are, for the first time ever, able to buy into their homeowner's health insurance plan. They have health insurance for the first time. We have families who are putting money into savings. I have one family, the Irbies, who got a home 4 years ago. She was finishing up her bachelor's degree. Since she's gotten her home, she's finished her master's, and she's actually working on her doctorate. She's one of our superstars. I'm not going to, if you ever met Sasha, it would blow your mind. This woman is amazing. Her and her husband, but at the same time, though, as they're going through that, they're also putting money into 529 plans, college savings accounts for their 2 boys. They're making it possible for their children to grow and become all that God intends. And they're providing opportunities there. The kids may go to college, they may not. We don't know. But that opportunity is there for them to do so. Final ministry we have at Habitat, and if you ever gone down to the corner of Pratt and Washington, we have the Habitat Restore. We encourage you to come in. It is open to the public. A lot of people don't think it's open to the public, but what we do is we take donated items. They could be anything from furniture to lamps to desk. We get flooring in there. We get doors. We get windows. We get all kinds of things in there. We purchased some things also that we sell in the Restore, and we keep it at a very low cost so people can afford it, so we can help those who want to upkeep their home. You come in there, you can find a toilet if you need one. You can find a bathtub. You can find, if you want to refloor your house, we probably can make it work out where we can find all that flooring for you, the color you want. And that helps fund the admin part of our program and also fund a lot of our programs that we have at Habitat. So we have those four basic ministries, or those are our four big ministries we have at Habitat. We also have a human resources department that also runs our volunteers. We have an advocacy arm because affordable housing is something that we advocate for. We strongly encourage. So we encourage our legislators, our federal legislators, to support programs such as home funds, CDBG funding, capacity for funding, as well as other opportunities of federal funds to come in and support affordable housing. Even if they're not benefiting Habitat, we want to see an investment in affordable housing. We work with our state legislatures as well to find housing programs or funding for housing. We recently got awarded statewide $15 million of ARPA funding that the state got, with the governor assigned $15 million to Habitat for Humanity of Alabama. Of that, $1.4 million is coming to our affiliate here in Huntsville to serve, again, Limestone, Madison, and Jackson County with new construction, home repairs, and down payment assistance for families coming through our program. We also work very hard to educate the community, like I am here today, about the need for affordable housing and the struggle that's out there. We want to work with our local partners on planning and zoning issues that will help make affordable housing more available. We want to work with our partners, such as the home builders and realtors and other agencies, to help encourage people to build those starter homes back up. A starter home, is not a $350,000 home. Starter homes should be a lot less than that. If we can get some more starter homes going, we can help ease the pressure and help lower rents. So we want to start working with others to make that possible and put incentives out there to make that possible. So we want to work with our local state officials to make that happen. So that is our ministry in a nutshell. I told the pastor I like Q&A. I'm a big Q&A guy. So if you got questions, I'm here to answer. So anybody have any questions I can answer? Don't be shy. I get really excited when there's questions. Yes, ma'am. How many homes have we built in these three counties, in Limestone, Madison, Jackson County? We're starting our first home in Limestone County right now. So we just got that one going. We just got the permit. We did a groundbreaking. In fact, Tamara was out a couple Saturdays ago. So we just starting that. In Madison County, we have built, I think, 225 homes. And in Jackson County, because we acquired Jackson County recently, we get their numbers, there's about 19 homes over there that we've also acquired. We've served, again, 335 families. We've also got a new program we started up last year for doing home repairs. So we're doing minor to moderate home repairs and energy efficiency work. And the payback on that is when if a family comes to us and they need that kind of work done, they need a new HVAC system, or they need insulation blown in their attic, or they need new windows to make the home energy efficient. We actually will do that work. We do it at cost, but depending on where the family's income level is, they may get it for free, 25%, 50%. Other total costs they'll pay back over a 5-year period, again at 0% interest. And then we reinvest those funds back into the home repair program, so they're used to serve another family. Yes, ma'am.
I feel like I remember when I heard that Habitat for Humanity growing up, it was all about like repairing people's homes that had gotten affected by a tornado.
Yeah.
That's like the main thing that y'all did. And now it sounds like the main thing that y'all do is help people who have issues with low income, issues affording a home. And so I guess my question is, like, it sounds like that means that have the criteria changed over time for what it takes to be helped, or is it just that, the needs of the times change and y'all are changing with them?
Well, yes and no. Actually, we are known originally for building homes. Repairs were something we didn't bring to the table international-wise. Repairs was something that didn't get brought to the table to probably sometime in the 80s. Our organization was originally founded in 1976. Probably in the mid-late 80s, we started doing home repairs. Now, here in Huntsville, we did do a batch of home repairs after the April 27, 2011 tornado. And we did about 15 of those. And then we stopped doing them, and now we brought that program back. But Habitat for Humanity has always been, our bread and butter has always been the building of homes or home ownership. That's been our focal point. But home repairs is something new. Advocacy is something we're doing more of. We're doing aging in place programs across the country now. We're trying to bring some of that here locally as well. So we're going to start seeing more programs coming to our affiliate, hopefully, over the coming years, us doing more. But home ownership is our source. But yes, changing with the times, yes. We're going to continue to evolve. And we got a great board. We got a great staff that's all about taking those initiatives and changing as we need to. So I think my time is about up. But if you have any questions, I'll be around later on and be happy to answer them. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Jeremy. We could listen to this all day, but we've got other worship to do. But thank you for being here with us. And Jeremy will be at Potluck with lots more info about Habitat. Our congregation is going to get involved in a build this fall. And I heard this morning that if you are just so jazzed about this now, you could probably get on a build site earlier than this fall. So we'll go from there. Thank you so much, Jeremy. Let's rise together in body and spirit and sing our first hymn. It's number 140, Hail the Glorious Golden City. It's talking about building a world where all people can thrive. We've got a lot of building metaphors this morning. Let's sing together 140.
By the seers of old,
Each week following our first hymn, we remain risen in body or spirit to sing our doxology and speak to one another our words of aspiration. Let's sing. From all who dwell below the skies, let faith and hope and love arise. Let truth and good be sung through every land by every tongue. De todos bajo el gran sol, surra esperanza, fe, amor, verdad y belleza cantando, de cada tierra, cada voz. And turn and speak to each other. May love be the spirit of this church. May the quest for truth be its sacrament and service be its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, and to help one another in fellowship. This is our aspiration. You may be seated, and I'd like to invite forward Kristen Warrington, our Director of Religious Education, for our story for all ages. And children and youth, if you'd like to come forward to hear that story, please come on up.
Good morning, everyone. Again, my name is Kristen Warrington. My pronouns are she and her. And today I have a really beautiful story written by Cindy Wong Brandt and illustrated by Lenore Bontiago. And it's called You Are Revolutionary. And I'm going to do my best to make this visible. So please bear with me. And again, this is titled, You Are Revolutionary. But not very computer literate. Okay. From the moment you were born, you changed the shape of history. As surely as your heart beat, your existence was revolutionary. Before you could crawl, before your first word, you giggled, you cried, you declared, I will be heard. Now you are bigger, though you may feel small. With your eyes wide open, you see the world's not fair for all. You know deep inside that every kid has a right to food, shelter, water, and a future that's safe and bright. When you try to ask questions, speak up about what's unfair, people tell you to hush, to walk till you're grown to care. You want to make change when you see things aren't right, but you wonder if you're too light or too shy to fight. Don't listen to those voices. There's so much you can do. You can be part of a revolution just by being you. Listen to your body. Learn what makes you tick, what makes your skin feel tingly and your heart flutter and kick. If you're a big dreamer who imagines what others can't see, you can cast a vision for how the world should be. If you experience hardship and struggle firsthand, you can share your story, raise your voice, take a stand. If you're really good at math and enjoy numbers and counting, you can help keep track of problems that are mounting. And if you like making jokes about what's both funny and true, you can spread joy and humor. Laughter is revolutionary too. If you excel at writing words as mighty as a sword, you can share a message in ways that can't be ignored. If you're a kid who can sing, play an instrument, or make art, with your skill and creativity, you can change people's hearts. If you're always on the move with energy to spare, you can knock on doors and signs up in the air. You can be fierce and feisty, or you can be soft and tender. To fix the world's big problems, we need both defenders and menders. Revolutionaries work together, side by side from the start. All grown-ups and kids need to do their part. Together we'll rise up, we'll march, and we'll create a better and fairer world than what we've seen to date. You'll work hard, and you'll also have fun. Every kid is revolutionary, every last one. Okay. And now we will sing our revolutionary children off to their classes.
We are the Unitarian Universalist Church of Huntsville, a proudly inclusive spiritual community. Together, we build a broader search for meaning, bolder form of compassion, and a braver voice for justice. If you would like to support us with a monetary contribution, we would be very grateful. Your generosity helps us to keep utilities on, maintain our building and grounds, run our various ministries, pay our staff a fair wage, and support organizations that share our UU values. You may donate online using the QR code on your order of service, or you can put cash or check donations in the offering baskets. Completed Circle of Candles cards like these may be placed in the offering baskets at this time. You are also invited to come forward during this time and quietly drop a stone into the bowl of water here next to the ramp in honor or in memory of what you hold in your heart. It is through your generosity that we serve our mission here at the UUCH. With gratitude, we now receive the offering.
Friends, will you join me now for a time of meditation, reflection, and prayer? Spirit of life, force of love, bending our universe toward justice, be with us in this time where we share with one another the joys, the sorrows, and the in-betweens of our lives, where we hold each other and share our truths. This morning we gather with joys and celebrations, joys of time with family, time off to enjoy the beauty of nature. I lift up a joy from our friend Linda Lamity. She celebrates the graduation of her granddaughter Maddie from the Coast Guard basic training. Maddie reported to her first duty station on July 4th, a ship off of Long Beach, California. Congrats, Maddie. We wish you well. And as we hold our joys too, we hold sorrows too heavy to hold alone. I want to share with you a sorrow I'm holding in my heart for our fellow Unitarian Universalists at First Parish in Kingston, Massachusetts. This past week on the 4th of July, a man with white supremacist beliefs broke into their building, causing tons of property damage, and burned their Black Lives Matter and their pride flags. And starting a fire in a building built in the 1700s is a particularly violent choice. We hold their whole community and love and wish them strength as they continue on and rededicate their sanctuary to their mission of love and justice. Holding our joys, holding our sorrows, knowing that we are joined in love and community with others in our faith across the world and others who share our values of love. Let us pray once more for a world transformed by our care, and let us say, blessed be, and amen. Let's sing in response Meditation on Breathing. That's 1009 in the Teal Hymnal.
When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out.
Our reading this morning is a poem, really a recipe, from my colleague and friend, the Reverend Margaret Weiss, A Recipe for Resilience. And she starts it with a note. This recipe has been tweaked over time, so adjust as necessary. Sometimes it yields more servings than anticipated. Sometimes it needs a bit more of this ingredient or that. It comes from generations who've gone before, and she's added her own flavor along the way. A recipe for resilience. 1 part courage, 2 parts tears of failure and of doubt, 1 part deep listening, 1 part each of both silence and laughter, a dash of trust, a pinch of wonder, a heaping scoop of naps and snacks. In a separate bowl, mixed together family, friends, and those who challenge you to be your best self, those with whom you disagree. Add slowly to the largest pot you have. Add a bay leaf for, well, whatever it is bay leaves do, and let it simmer as long as you need, which is often longer than you anticipate. Keep the heat at an even temperature, hot enough to cook throughout so it does not burn on the bottom. Resilience can be served at room temperature, hot or even cold if necessary. Serve at a long table with room enough for everyone, with a high chair and a wheelchair cutout. Make often. Share with others. Hold on to the leftovers. You'll need them after a long day that challenges your soul. Will you join me in singing once again our middle hymn? It's number 288, All Are Architects. Each of us has the gifts and the care to make a difference in this world. In that spirit, let's sing number 288. Please rise in body or in spirit.
All are architects of fate, lurking in these walls of time. Some with massive deeds and great, some with ornaments of rhyme. For the structure that we raise, time is when materials filled. Our todays and yesterdays are the blocks with which we build. Build today, then strong and sure, with a firm and ample base, and ascending and secure, shall tomorrow find its place.
You may be seated. The words of Unitarian minister Edward Everett Hale hung on the wall of a religious education classroom at my home church. Between rainbow chalice drawings and left behind craft projects, I would often read, I am only one, but I am one. I cannot do everything, but I can do something. And because I cannot do everything, I will not refuse to do the something I can do. Week after week, I read these words, incorporating them into a sense of what it meant to do my part. Through different life stages with different abilities, it was a sacred reminder. You have power and agency. And in a week like this one, my heart needs to be reminded once again that you have power and agency, and that we have the power to do our part. No question about it, it is storming out there. The rumbles and ripples of empire have been swirling for years now and are coming to the surface in new ways. There's fear and anger in our world and in the political landscape of our country. What will our future be? Who will lead us and how? Will we be able to make the changes needed to protect our democracy, stop climate change, ensure human rights for all people, end genocide? What will finally turn the tide? We've all been wrestling with these questions. I see you asking yourselves them in your Facebook posts and in hushed conversations, in the moment before the work begins in the committee meeting, and over cups of tea. What is going to happen? What can I do? What should I do? And I come back to Hale's words. I am only one, but I am one. I cannot do everything, but I can do something. And because I cannot do everything, I will not refuse to do the something I can do. Friends, being real and candid in this moment, I don't know the entirety of all that we must do. I don't have a ready answer for the big, world-shattering questions of this moment. I don't know what will come next or who of us will be able to weather through it. But I do know about being one and doing the one thing I can do. In times of uncertainty, we can find hope and a recipe for resilience in holding up the one doing the something they can do. In times of uncertainty, we can bring one and one together and do the many somethings we can do. I think of our fabulous social justice partner, Habitat for Humanity, as a perfect example of this principle. Habitat of the River Valley, as you've heard, has been working in our community for almost 40 years. And in that time, they've brought together a whole bunch of people, ones who couldn't do everything, but could do something to make housing more accessible for families in need. And they've successfully served, your website says 300, but we learned today 335 families who now live in safe, comfortable houses that allow them to build for their future. One alone can't build an entire house, and with the exorbitant cost of real estate and a stagnating economy for many in our community, one family alone can't build or buy a new house. But together, groups of volunteers in relationship with soon-to-be homeowners can work together and build walls and build connections and build power so that home ownership becomes a reality. Jeremy has shared many of the details, and we'll learn more and more as our congregation embarks on a house build this fall to support our neighbors. But at the core, the truth here is simple. Each of us taking our one and adding it to the love and effort of another can do so much more. And it's by living our values and proactively choosing to do the one thing we can do that we access our resilience. That's our recipe, perhaps our blueprint. This year, when Unitarian Universalists gathered for General Assembly to do our business and make community decisions, we voted in a new covenant of values that will guide our faith into the future. With love ever present at the center, two of those values are generosity. We cultivate a spirit of gratitude and hope. We covenant freely and compassionately to share our faith, presence, and resources. Our generosity connects us to one another in relationships of interdependence and mutuality. And the second is equity. We declare that every person has the right to flourish with inherent dignity and worthiness. We covenant to use our time, wisdom, attention, and money to build and sustain fully accessible and inclusive communities. In these values, we proclaim to a world of uncertainty that no matter what comes our way, we will be generous with our time and our resources and our love. And we proclaim to a world of unfairness that every single person deserves to have what they need to live and thrive in safety. Friends, we covenant these values, which means we aspire to make them real in the world, not just in words, but in the lived day-to-day realities. We practice generosity. We will practice generosity of time and sweat and spirit, hammering and drilling and painting and building so that a family will have what they need to thrive. And it will be our joy to serve generously. And we practice equity. We believe that every family deserves the chance to thrive and have safety and economic security. Equity means that for those of us who have more, we give more. And for those of us who have less, they get more. Equity means working to get us all on an even playing field. Through Habitat's model of family partnership, the playing field gets leveled just a little bit more so that everyone has a chance to grow. And it will be our joy to be a small part of making that happen. Dear ones, I am heartsick for our world, and I'm committed to it. I suspect you are too. Heartsick for our world, and yet so committed to it. Take a breath. Look around. Find your resilience or cook some up. Remember who you are with your loving heart and your willing hands. Remember that even in the swirling storms of fear and chaos, all is not yet lost. With love at our center, we commit to practicing generosity and building equity everywhere we go. I think back to that religious education classroom of my youth, those chalice drawings, those inspiring posters, and across the room, opposite from the words of Edward Everett Hale, was another, words from anthropologist Margaret Mead. Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed individuals can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has. Do what you can, join with others to do more, and let's build a better world for all of us. Blessed be, and amen. And let's close out by singing our last song about building for this morning, number 1017, We Are Building a New Way. That's in your teal hymnal. Let's sing together.
We are building a new way. We are building a new way. We are building a new way, feeling stronger every day. We are building a new way. We are working to be free. We are working to be free. We are working to be free. Hate and greed and jealousy. We are working to be free. We can feed our every need. We can feed our every need. We can feed our every need. Start with love, that is the seed. We can feed our every need. Peace and freedom is our cry. Peace and freedom is our cry. Peace and freedom is our cry. Without these, the world will die. Peace and freedom is our cry.
Let us now take a moment to extinguish our chalice with these words by Eric Williams. May you be filled with the blessings of this community. May you carry them with you as you depart from here. May you discover the places in the world where these blessings are needed. May you have the courage to share them. May there be an open place within you to receive the blessings of the people whom you will meet along the way.
All right, friends, our worship service now comes to a close. I will be at the back of the sanctuary to greet you, but you're really going to want to go this way because there's potluck. And that's where Jeremy will be with more info about Habitat for Humanity. And I imagine after all that lovely info, you've got more questions to ask him. So go on that way for potluck. Everyone is welcome, even if you forgot a dish, especially if you forgot a dish, still come eat with us. Let's leave this time with these sacred words. We are building a new way. We are building a new way. We are building a new way. Let us be about that work. Let us make it happen together. Go in peace. Blessed be, and amen. Let's go out singing. Amen. Blessed be. Go in peace.